I would say that it's not a trend. You have to ask questions about AI, and you have to say that you're using AI. But to me, the real challenge today, or the real word of AI, is data. So one of the sentences that's written in my mind is, if garbage in, garbage out. So what we see today in our target industry, so like, let's say public sector, energy, finance, and non-profit, is that we are just not ready.
Jerome Schumacher of AsyouGo Canada, the country manager for AsyouGo Canada. It's great to see you again. We recently got to know each other. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, Jasper. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. You know, we were talking before we started recording that the weather is nice now in Canada, and for somebody that spends a lot of time for your work as well in Europe and Portugal, this nice weather, I'm sure, is a nice change for you in Canada.
Yeah. Yeah, we have like eight months of winter and 4 of summer. So we are now starting the 4 of summer. So yeah, weather is good, and
exactly.
I'm good too.
Exactly. So let's dive straight into this. So AsyouGo is an organization very much focused on helping Salesforce clients with their key challenges. So walk us through, for people that are new to the organization, not only like what are some of the key things that you help your customers with, but also what made, what sparked the decision, if you will, to build out also a Canadian version of that.
First of all, AsyouGo is like, as you said, you mentioned European company. So global vision is we think and build beyond. So meaning we are the consulting world, but not just implementation of systems, CRM system, because this is the industry we're in. So consulting company doing several stuff like understanding needs of a target markets, and then implementing on, thanks to a platform, digitizing business or people, customer or citizens. And the platform we choose today is Salesforce. But the idea is not to stop after this customization of implementation, but always to go a little bit further, which is the beyond of the vision statement that we have, by creating new needs, going a little bit further than just the need, and etc. So this is the European, the group vision. And then we have a discussion with the 2 CEO of the European company. It was a talk in San Francisco, and then I have two guys in the audience, like making a little bit fun of me because my mic wasn't working. Hope it's working today.
It is.
So we quite quick became friends and started having a discussion about their expansion vision. And as they used to say, to them, the world is a village. And so, by the way, my title is country manager. This is what's on the business cards. But internally, the term is head of village, a little bit like Club Med style, And so we decided to choose the next country, and they had as a vision to open one of these countries, Canada first. We had 3 employees, said, okay, look, we want to open this. Started the market study, decided to open, and then suggest me to take the lead of the country. And so then we decided, I did it in 2 weeks, by the way, just 2 weeks, saying, okay, let's take this decision, pack my stuff, part of my stuff, and then decide to carry on with the Salesforce ecosystem career, not in Europe and Belgium anymore, but on this side of the ocean. Yeah. I call it the success continent. So it was a good opportunity for me. So yeah.
Awesome. So, what are your, because I definitely, when I moved 12 years ago from Europe to North America, there's a lot of subtle differences. Some are very on the nose differences in culture and how people interact, but also when it comes to adopting or thinking about technology, like in your, fresher mindset, if you will, what's been the biggest learning or difference when you see, Canadians embracing technology versus people in Europe?
Oh, I don't know if we can say anything in this podcast, but I would say there's a difference of maturity What I love is that we can compare, let's say, Canada to Belgium, which is our country. So, like, you have regions and province all over, but you also have both culture. In Belgium, we have some difference of culture. In Canada, we have it too. But the challenge of our target industries are quite the same. It's making better relationship with customer or citizens, but the adoption of the tool and the needs that we receive could be a little bit different. So one challenge for us is to adapt to this Quebec or Canadian market. And I would say that we have maybe needs a little bit in advance on time in Europe, and maybe we have maybe 5 years. We are maybe 5 years late here in Canada, which is for me a very, very, very good challenge, because it means that the gap between what we can do and what we must do is huge. Mm-hmm. And this is why I wake up in the morning. So good challenge for us.
When we met at the gala night of the Canadian Belgian Business Chamber, and on there was a lot of conversation going on, and also some interesting conversation around the table about we're in this age of AI, and especially when for a lot of AI engines to work, it needs data, it needs vast amounts of data, and often is fueled by CRM systems that hold all this data, which can create a number of amazing new things to create, but also causes some people to have some really, really big headaches or concerns. When you talk about, we're in Canada, you're helping companies that are deploying CRM systems or platforms like Salesforce to kind of catch up with what is possible in Europe. When this new element of AI is introduced into that environment, and I'm sure that you've got a ton of customers asking you about what they can do, what they should do. How are you seeing this disruption of AI impact the use cases that people ask you about, or the work that you're doing?
Yes, so this is a specific topic that I love, and thank you for the question. I will stay on the complex side of the answer. To me, the first word that I will have in mind is painful. This world was recently disrupted, which is the correct word, by some company. Like I would say OpenAI is the first that make a big noise. So it's now, I would say that it's now a trend. You have to ask questions about AI, and you have to say that you're using AI. But to me, the real challenger today, or the word of AI, is data. Mm-hmm. So one of the sentences that's written in my mind is, if garbage in, garbage out. So what we see today in our target industry, so like, let's say public sector, energy, finance, and non-profit, is that we are just not ready. We are just not ready. I mean, I have some customers, they have their data in 10 different sources. Sometimes it's Excel, sometimes it's on paper. Mm-hmm. I mean, how do you want us to be, what do you want us to do? So the main challenge for me is to start by walking instead of starting by running. But then if we have some companies that are ready, they had already a good data strategy or data governance, then it will be a huge advantage. I think we have two type of companies today, the one who they have a data governance, and the other one. I don't know, but I have a question for you, Jasper. Does it resonate to you?
Absolutely. It's you can make the analogy with upgrading to a new PC, if you will. If you have a PC with 10,000 documents and they're all over your computer and in the cloud, what have you, you can buy a 3,000 new computer. It's still gonna be a shiny recycling. Awesome.
Exactly.
So, Jerome, like, we're not ready, and it's clear what the complexity that you see. You also mentioned, there are some companies. There's two companies. There's companies that have a proper data governance, and there's companies that do not. And I have a feeling that most companies fall in the do not category. But with the companies that do, and the companies that, whether they're fully ready or not, but they are at least in a better position, are you seeing, like, is there a best practice that you've seen that excites you for the rest of this year?
I mean, yes. So if this is the question, the thing that I would say we have to focus on now when we have a good proper data governance is what we could talk about the prompt academies or getting focused. If we have good data, then we have a good prompt, then we have a good outcome. Do you get me?
Yeah, I do get it.